Okay. Hello. My name's Joko. I'm an English teacher, and I am here today to look at the essay of Mr. This one, which belongs to this person here. Jordan Carvalho. I am from Brazil. I think you are from, yes, you are from Brazil. I know this because that's why I decided to review your essay. I like to read essays from people from different countries because I think it gives me an insight into your mindset, and I get to travel the world by correcting IELTS essays. I'm overstating it a bit, but almost lost out. I was looking here, and then I was thinking, just right down here, not very far away, we have. Did I go too far? No. Clara de Magallanes Carvalho. I thought you guys were like, husband, wife, or brother or sister or something, but I guess Carvalho is a very common Brazilian name, and she is certainly a lot cuter than you. But your essay's been sitting there for 4 days, and we don't discriminate. And if I let it be known that pretty girls get their essays corrected first, it would be an even worse situation. So, what do we got? Istanbul. Aha. I know this one. It is from Cambridge 7 or 8, I think. And I'll turn down the music a little bit. Right. Okay, so you posted the question here, but you forgot the most important part. Some people say that the best way to improve public health is by increasing the number of sports facilities. Others, however, say that this would have little effect on public health and that other measures are required. The other part you forgot is this part. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion. And then it would also say, explain your answers and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. But you left that part out. I'm considering it still to be there. So if you don't discuss both these views, well, then you haven't answered the question. All right, so I've already looked at it. And you got me puzzled right here from the very first sentence. Every sentence in an essay needs to have a function, a purpose, something that it does. And the first sentence should introduce us to the topic. And oftentimes, it's simply enough to paraphrase the question. You don't always need a introducing the topic. And at least you didn't do what a lot of people from other parts of the world do, which is to say something like, the discussion of whether sports facilities should be promoted has become a burning topic of today. No, it hasn't. Who's talking about this? Nobody. But we have two groups, and the first thing you want to do is analyze the two groups and decide who they are and what they believe. Specifically, because if you're going to discuss it, you have to discuss all parts of what they think in their view. So, what we're not going to do, well, that was the power going out. I have batteries. That's Myanmar for you. I have lights that are battery driven, but that does not run my computer, and it does not run the very power intensive audio video interface I have over here. So I'm going to run out of energy. I'm going to run out of power before I finish, I'm sure. Let's get to it. So the first group of people think that it's the best way is to have sports facilities. We don't, and what does that mean? It does not mean things like stadiums and it means things like public tennis courts and walking paths and those exercise equipment that you see at the park. Free public health facilities. And that's the best way. Not the only way. It's not the only important thing. They're not saying that. But can you think of a better way? Well, these other groups say yes. That won't do anything. It will have little effect. That's what they say. And you have to address that. Little effect on public health. Other measures are required. Well, of course other measures are required. You can't just, rely on sports by itself. But the first group is not saying that. Okay. Now, you got me confused right here from the very beginning. Improving public health. Well, that's a singular idea. So when singular, one, present simple, you add an S. So grammar mistake on the first sentence. Represents a big concern for part of the population. Really? Yeah. Public health, by definition, is everyone. It's the public. Why isn't it a big concern for everyone? Who are these part of the population? I guess you're going to tell us, because as the first sentence of the essay, it kind of sets the tone. Let's find out what part of the population are concerned. Okay, well, we'll see. Well, some think the best way to achieve it. Achieve what? Okay. One of the things I like about reading essays from people from different parts of the world is each have their own specific language difficulties that in many ways is related to your first language, or just, or something particular about the way you approach English. Now, you have a big problem with referencing. What I mean by that is that your pronouns are not clear. Achieve it. What is it? It's clear in your mind, but it's not clear in your reader's mind. To achieve it is by building more sports facilities. Sports facilities. Okay. A little bit of... While some others believe it. What is it now? See, now here it... To achieve it. I know what it is. It is public health. But here in the same sentence, it means building more sports facilities. And so that's why it's confusing. It will not produce a considerable effect, and that different types of approaches are necessary. I underlined it because I liked it. This essay will discuss both points of view and provide evidence. Evidence, once again, don't include things, don't say things that you're not going to do. Because I've read the essay, and you don't provide any evidence. You just provide an argument. Not evidence. As to why increasing the number of sports constructions, nope, that's not a good word. By the way, my color code here. Where's my color? Oh, here we are. The red or the purple is task response. I mean, it's not answering the question, or it's bringing up things outside of the question, misunderstanding the question. Blue is referencing, or coherence and cohesion, which includes how well you link your ideas. Yellow is vocabulary, and green is grammar. Increasing the number of sports constructions are not enough. Well, increasing the number is a singular thing. The number of. Okay, it's one thing. So, it are not enough. In fact, Not a good way to start a paragraph, in fact. In fact, we use to provide evidence for, or to provide support for an argument that we have been making. In fact is one of the last parts, one of the last conjunctions you would use if you use it. Don't start a paragraph with in fact. Okay. Oh, look at this. We're going to go straight into a conditional. Now, here you go. This is good. You want to show complex sentences, and anything that starts with if is going to be complex. Let's see if you pull it off. If there are, first conditional, if there are more places for the population, what population? We don't know what population. For people to practice physical activities, I'd say do, not practice. Activities. Oh, comma. You need a comma after the if phrase. Then a more extensive portion of it. What is it? It is the population. It is the physical activities. It will probably be doing so. Make your statement. Okay, so if, and first of all, when you're talking about the side that you disagree with, you probably want to use the second conditional, the unreal conditional, because it's something that you think is unlikely going to happen. You don't want it to happen, so you hope it's unlikely. If there were more available places for people to do physical activities, comma, then a more extensive portion of the people, of the population, would, in this case, not would probably do so, but would do so. Drop the probably. Some of the reasons for what? Some of the reasons are that they will not spend money since it's a public facility. Spend money, comma, since it's a public facility. Comma, also by having a large number of those, the distance needed to get there will be shortened. Okay, that's a big comma splice. You've tried to connect ideas using commas when they should be full stops. And that's a very long, awkward sentence that makes little sense. A number of those, comma, the distance needed to get there. Where is there? To the, yeah. Will be shortened. And what is the effect of that? Some of the reasons, okay. If there are more places, then a more extensive will probably do so. Well, that's what confused me was the probably part. They will do so. The facilities will be closer and free. However, the simple fact of practicing exercises, it's not a simple fact. By the simple activity, the simple, practicing exercise won't be enough to substantially raise public health. What you're trying to say. This is a very common mistake. Raise and rise. Google it. You mean to say raise. Raise is when we lift something up. Rise is when it happens all by itself. The sun rises. Prices rise if we're talking about as a country. Stores raise prices. And here, of course, we're trying to raise public health. But not really. We want to improve public health or make people healthier. There is another core component. Aha, you say the first part is a core component. responsible for solving this equation. No, it's not an equation. Semicolon. You need a colon there, actually. Eating healthily. Oh, good. You got healthily in there. You came around to it. For example. Way too early for your for example. You only use a for example after you have explained your point. Right? Eating healthily. We are we are a product of the food and drink that we put into our bodies. And you need to explain that the connection between nutrition and health, because it might seem obvious to you, but you have to explain it before you go to your example. An average person who performs, need an S on there, any kind of physical activity and does not take care of their eating habits may develop similar problems of a sedentary one. One. There's another pronoun. I think you've used every pronoun incorrectly. Huh? Therefore. Okay. To sum up, the idea of increasing the number of places. See, you didn't mention any of the reasons why sports facilities would not be an effective means of raising public health. Any amount of exercise. Well, certainly, we're not talking about any. To sum up, the idea of increasing the number of places to perform sports, we do sports, is valid. But I do not think that it will considerably raise public health. And then, unfortunately, your last sentence, it's all green because it's not a complete sentence. Where's the subject and the object and the verb? I mean, it doesn't need to be an object, but there's no, it's not a complete sentence. Oh my God, I finished this in time. And the power, I still have power. Well, here's your word counter. It actually worked out pretty well. Too thin, not enough bulk in here. 246 words, that's fine, but here, the idea here is that people will go and use these things. And the idea here is that it doesn't matter. Because if you don't eat healthily, so this is your better idea? Oh yeah, let the government, what was it? Oh, well. Having in mind that one of the key aspects of a healthy life is a proper balance between sports, activities, not just sports, and consuming the appropriate food. So if you do sports, you can't consume the... I don't know what you mean there. Well, it's actually not bad, the whole thing as a whole, the response as a whole. Some of that gets given away in the repetitiveness of some of your ideas. I'll look at it again tomorrow. Okay, it's tomorrow. Oh, God, I look so tired. I need to shower and get on with my day. But I wanted to finish up by telling you... Oh, wait a minute. Am I recording? Okay, any sound? Sound? No, I'm not. That's sort of... Microphone. Hello? Whoa. To finish, the essay did a better job explaining why sports facilities would be an effective, perhaps the most effective, means of improving public health. You did a good job explaining that. But you didn't explain other than one sentence of if someone has exercise or does exercise and then eats unhealthily, they'll have the same problems as a sedentary. That was a very confusing, and it's not support by itself because you don't explain the connection between nutrition and food and public health and health. You didn't address you didn't discuss both sides completely, and you certainly didn't support your position, your opinion, because you sided with the view that was not as well supported. You always want to present the views fairly and present what they actually think, or what you think they think. And if you do a better job with the opinion that you don't hold, I have to ask, well, why do you hold your opinion then? Seems the other side's more logical. But there we are.